Hello and welcome to CVR News Network. You are watching CVR English and these are the details. A passenger train with 500 people was hijacked by Baloch insurgents in Pakistan's Rashtria Baloch province on Tuesday. The Balochistan Liberation Army stopped the Peshawar-bound Jafar Express after blowing up a track and claimed it took more than 200 as hostages and killed over 30 Pakistani troops. Security forces launched an operation and killed over 30 Balochistan Liberation Army insurgents and freed over 190 hostages. The Balochistan Liberation Army, which seeks Balochistan independence from Pakistan, has threatened to kill all hostages if the security forces did not retreat. The Balochistan Liberation Army has claimed it killed 50 more hostages after it hijacked the Jafar Express in Pakistan's Festive Balochistan province. The BLA said this was the final warning in response to the latest act of military aggression by the Pakistani security forces, who blatantly disregarded prior warnings and option of a prisoner exchange. Militants wearing suicide vests are seated among passengers held hostage in a train hijack in southwest Pakistan, the government said on Wednesday, hampering the rescue efforts as the deadline nears for the attacks said they would start to kill people. Dozens of separatist Balochi militants blew up a railway track and lobbed rockets on Tuesday at the Jafar Express, carrying more than 400 passengers. So far, 190 of them have been rescued, government officials said. However, as per the sources, more than 200 people have already killed and Pakistani government is preparing for the mass funeral and initially sent hundreds of coffin boxes. Union Minister Mansukh Mandavia highlighted the significance of youth involvement in shaping a developed India by 2047 as envisioned by Prime Minister Narendra Modi during the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. He stated that the Viksit Bharat Young Dialogue initiative is being conducted nationwide, engaging university and college students to gather their perspective on the nation's future. Speaking to the Khelo India Winter Games, he noted that 5th edition had successfully concluded in Gulmarg, which is gaining recognition for winter sports. With over 750 athletes participating, he acknowledged the enthusiastic response from across the country. He also emphasized future efforts to enhance Kashmir's sports infrastructure, improve its medal tally, and boost its standing in the sports sector.
देश आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव वर्ष मना रहे थे। उस वक्त रेड फोर्ट से देश के प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने 2047 यानी कि जब देश आज़ादी का शताब्दी दिवस मनाता हो तब हमें भारत को विकसित भारत बनाना है। और विकसित भारत बनाने के लिए देश के हर नागरिक की भागीदारी सुनिश्चित हो। आज का युवा ये 25 साल के बाद विकसित भारत को जिएंगे। और विकसित भारत कैसा होना चाहिए, उसमें युवाओं की भागीदारी कैसे सुनिश्चित हो। अपने सपने का यानी कि युवाओं का सपने का विकसित भारत बने, इसलिए समग्र देश में विकसित भारत यंग डायलॉग कार्यक्रम चल रहा है। विकसित भारत युवा कनेक्ट के द्वारा हम यूनिवर्सिटी कॉलेज में यूथ के साथ डिस्कस करते हैं, उसके साथ विचार साझा करते हैं, उसका सुझाव भी लेते हैं और विकसित भारत का निर्माण में उसकी भूमिका को सुनिश्चित करते हैं।
सर, आज 5th नेशनल खेलो इंडिया सक्सेसफुली कंप्लीट हुई, कैसे देखते हैं सर?
आज गुलमर्ग में 5th एडिशन खेलो इंडिया विंटर गेम्स का समापन हुआ। गुलमर्ग विंटर गेम्स के लिए नहीं केवल कश्मीर में लेकिन सारा देश में पॉपुलर हो रहा है। ये 5वीं विंटर गेम्स आयोजित हुई। 750 से अधिक एथलीट ने पार्टिसिपेट करा और मैंने देखा इस गेम्स के समापन के अवसर पर देश के कोने कोने से कई लोग आए हुए थे। उत्साह का माहौल था। आने वाले दिनों में कश्मीर को स्पोर्ट्स सेक्टर में स्पोर्ट्स इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और स्पोर्ट्स मेडल टैली में कैसे आगे बढ़े, इस दिशा में प्रयास किया जाएगा। देश आजादी का
TMC leader Kunal Ghosh strongly condemned the statement made by West Bengal leader of opposition Suvendu Adhikari, criticizing both the remark and the mindset behind it. He asserted that such behavior is inappropriate for a leader of opposition, emphasizing that ideological differences should not be used to create societal divisions. Ghosh also questioned whether the central leadership of the BJP would support Adhikari's statement.
We strongly oppose this kind of statement. We strongly oppose this kind of mentality. Opposition leader should not behave like this. There may be difference on ideological. There are many sections of ideological battles, but that doesn't mean a person always he used to try to create division between Hindus and Muslims. धर्म के नाम पे जो भेदाभेद वो कर रहा है, ये क्या स्टेटमेंट है? We will throw the Muslim MLAs out of assembly. ये क्या भाजपा का ऑल इंडिया लीडर्स वो सपोर्ट करते हैं? दिस काइंड ऑफ डेवलपमेंट में वो लोग नहीं है। वो लोग धर्म के नाम पे पोलराइजेशन का पॉलिटिक्स कर रहे हैं। ये वो उसका कंपल्शन है, लेकिन उसके लिए सोसाइटी में ऐसे जहर डालना ये तो ठीक नहीं है।
वैसी कह रहे हैं कि बंगाल के 2026 में विधानसभा चुनाव में सभी सीटों पे अपने उम्मीदवार के चुनाव में।
देखिए, उनका ऊपर मैं कोई कमेंट नहीं करना चाहता, लेकिन एक बात जरूर कहूँगा, बंगाल में ये एस्टेब्लिश्ड है, भाजपा का खिलाफ लड़ रही है ममता बनर्जी, लड़ रहा है ऑल इंडिया तृणमूल कांग्रेस, और भाजपा को हराकर हम लोग दिखा दिया, ममता दीदी एस्टेब्लिश कर दिया। यहाँ पर दूसरा कोई जब ऐसे वोट बाजार में घूमेगा तो समझना होगा वो भाजपा का बी टीम है, भाजपा का एजेंट है, वो एंटी भाजपा वोट डिवीजन के लिए कंफ्यूज करने के लिए असाइंड है। देखिए, हिंदू यहाँ पर हम सब हिंदू है, तो हिंदुओं का कोई एजेंसी हम लोग भाजपा को नहीं दिया है, शुभेंदु अधिकारी को नहीं दिया है, सुकांत मजूमदार को नहीं दिया है। यहाँ पे हिंदूज है, मुस्लिम्स है, क्रिश्चियंस है और भी धर्म का सब आदमी है। तो सब हिंदू भाजपा कौन बोला है? हम लोग जन्म से फैमिली की तरफ से हिंदू है, लेकिन हमारा ये कल्चर है, हम हिंदू है, ममता दीदी हिंदू है, ब्राह्मण, लेकिन वो रेस्पेक्ट करते हैं मुस्लिम क्रिश्चियन सब धर्म को। यही हमारा कल्चर है। हम हिंदू, तुम मुस्लिम, वो क्रिश्चियन, ये बड़ा बात नहीं है। धर्म अपनी अपनी जगह में है, दिल में है, लेकिन सोसाइटी में हम सब एक साथ है, मिलकर है। और अगर रही बात पॉलिटिक्स की, वो तो धर्म के नाम पर नहीं होना चाहिए, वो तो होना चाहिए रोटी, कपड़ा और मकान के ऊपर, जो तृणमूल कांग्रेस कर रहा है।
I am not safe in West Bengal. चीफ व्हिप ऑफ जो है हमारे सेंट्रल, वो कह रहे कि वी आर नॉट इन सेफ इन वेस्ट बंगाल एंड असेंबली ऑल्सो।
I'll just add one point that
देखिए,
Shankar said that opposition leader may be murdered inside the assembly.
जब अपोजिशन लीडर
Bhav Dhillon, former Honorary Council of India in Auckland and business leader, highlighted the significance of the New Zealand Prime Minister Christopher Luxon's upcoming visit to India on March 17th. Luxon has been invited as the chief guest at the Raizana Dialogue, India's premier geopolitical conference. He will be accompanied by a large delegation of business and community leaders, aiming to foster stronger and more meaningful ties between the two nations. Key discussions will focus on enhancing cooperation in agricultural technology, horticulture, daily technology, health tech and fintech. Additionally, the visit will address the strategic geopolitical role of New Zealand in the South Pacific, aligning with India's Indo-Pacific interests. Dhillon also emphasized the role of the Indian diaspora in strengthening bilateral relations, noting that New Zealand is home to 3 lakh Indians, with 11% of Auckland's population being of Indian origin. He compared the growing ties between India and New Zealand to India's leadership with Australia, stating that Luxon's government is keen on expanding cooperation at the multiple levels.
Interest in the region, of course, but so far the highlight was always Australia. Now it's coming to New Zealand. How do you see this shift? Because we don't have I believe we don't have a very big diaspora in New Zealand.
No, there's a large diaspora. We have 300,000 Indians in New Zealand. So Auckland, which is New Zealand's largest city, has about 11% of Auckland is people of Indian origin. So 11% in the largest city. So that speaks volumes. And that's why that is also a mainstay between the relationship between these both countries, India and New Zealand, the large diaspora. Yes, Australia has its relationship with India. And similarly now, the current government under Prime Minister Christopher Luxon has a great appetite to improve relationship at every level with India, not just trade, but a deeper connect and a wholesome relationship between these two countries.
You mentioned, so Prime Minister of New Zealand will be in India, I think, very soon. So give us a sense, what is happening, what will be the agenda, and I believe you are also coming with him as a part of delegation. So please please try and underline and analyze for our viewers.
Yes. So Prime Minister Christopher Luxon is coming to India on the 17th of March, and he has been invited as the chief guest at India's premier geopolitical conference, which is the Raisina Dialogue. So he's coming to India with a large delegation of business leaders and community leaders, and the main agenda is to develop better, closer, enduring, meaningful relationship between both these countries, which have a lot of shared things, including the shared love of cricket.
What will be the key discussion points?
Yes, so the key discussion points would be increasing cooperation between India and New Zealand on various points, which will be on agriculture technology, because the majority of people in India are, and New Zealand is leading the world in agri-tech, in horticulture, in dairy technology, and a lot of other technology-driven things like in health tech, in fintech space, and more collaboration and cooperation between both these countries will be there. And the other important thing is the strategic geopolitical importance of New Zealand, because India has an interest in the Indo-Pacific, and New Zealand is a major player in the South Pacific.
Delhi Minister Parvesh Verma met Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena at Raj Niwas to discuss the forthcoming budget. Speaking after a meeting, Verma stated that detailed deliberations took place regarding the various aspects of the budget. He emphasized that the discussions were comprehensive and aimed at ensuring a well-structured financial plan for the capital. While he did not disclose the specific details, he assured that the budget would be beneficial and address key areas of development. The meeting highlights the ongoing coordination between the Delhi government and the LG's office in shaping the financial roadmap for the city.
आने वाले बजट पर चर्चा हुई है, बहुत सारे पहलुओं पर अच्छी चर्चा हुई है, तो आपको बजट पे दिखाई देगा, अच्छा बजट आपको दिखाई देगा। बहुत अच्छा बजट रहेगा, दिल्ली वालों के लिए अच्छा बजट रहेगा। आने वाले बजट पर चर्चा हुई है, बहुत सारे पहलुओं पर अच्छी चर्चा हुई है, तो आपको बजट पे दिखाई देगा, अच्छा बजट आपको दिखाई देगा। बहुत अच्छा बजट रहेगा, दिल्ली वालों के लिए अच्छा बजट रहेगा। आने वाले बजट पर चर्चा हुई है।
Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah addressed the controversy surrounding the fashion show held in Gulmarg, stating that such events do not fall under the jurisdiction of the elected government. He mentioned that the rationale behind the organization of the event was not shared with the administration and reiterated that, as a matter of principle, his government has never supported such decisions. Responding to claims about the family's involvement, Abdullah acknowledged that a hotel owned by his relative was part of the venue, but clarified that he has never denied their ownership. His remarks reflected an attempt to distance the government from the controversy while addressing allegations of personal interest in the matter.
जैसे मंत्री साहब ने गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के अपनी तकरीर में कहा, गुलमर्ग के लिए एक विंटर स्पोर्ट्स का सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस का जो फैसला किया जा रहा है वो एक बहुत अच्छी बात है। हम यही चाहते थे कि अगर एक दो सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस स्पोर्ट्स के लिए जम्मू कश्मीर में कायम हो तो उससे हमारे एथलीट्स को फ़ायदा होगा। मैं आर्मी, हिमाचल और लद्दाख को तो मुबारकबाद पेश करता हूं, लेकिन अपनी जगह थोड़ा सा अफसोस भी होता है कि इस मुल्क में स्कीइंग की शुरुआत जम्मू कश्मीर से हुई, लेकिन पहले 3 नंबर में हमारा कहीं हिसाब किताब नहीं है। कहीं ना कहीं हमारे तरफ से कोई खामी है। हमें अपने स्कीयर्स के लिए इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और कोचेज का इंतज़ाम करना पड़ेगा। मैं उम्मीद करूंगा कि सतीश के साथ मिलके इस साल हम अपने स्कीयर्स के लिए फैसिलिटीज़ और कोचिंग वगैरह बेहतर करें, ताकि अगले साल जब छठा खेलो इंडिया विंटर गेम्स हों तो पहले 3 में जम्मू कश्मीर मिले। आप नहीं कह सकते हो, अब किस बुनियाद पे हुआ वो मैं नहीं जानता हूँ। ये चीज़ें इलेक्टेड गवर्नमेंट के दायरे इख्तियार में है नहीं, और जिस इंटेलिजेंस के बुनियाद पे ये हुआ है वो हमारे साथ शेयर हुआ नहीं है। ऑन प्रिंसिपल हम इन फैसलों के हक़ में कभी रहे नहीं हैं, और वैसे भी अगर आप देखें तो फ़िलहाल जब से मीरवाइज साहब हाउस अरेस्ट से बाहर आए, उनके तरफ से तो जहाँ तक मैंने देखा कोई उल्टी सीधी बात हुई नहीं है। लेकिन मैं फिर ये कहता हूँ कि जिस बुनियाद पे ये हुआ है वो जानकारी हमारे पास है नहीं, लेकिन आगे जाके देख लेंगे क्या करना है।
तो ये जो शो हुआ था इसके बारे में सभी क्योंकि है ही,
अब छोड़ दीजिए ना, अब हो गया।
Ahead of the Holi festival, vibrant celebrations took place in the parliament premises where several parliamentarians played the Gulal. Samajwadi Party MP Priya Saroj added the festive spirit by singing the iconic song Rang Barse. Following the celebrations, both houses of parliament were adjourned for the festival and are scheduled to reconvene on March 17th. The event highlighted a moment of camaraderie and festivity among the lawmakers before the legislative proceedings resume.
रंग बरसे भीगे चुनर वाली हमारे परिवार की तरफ से आप सभी को होली की शुभकामनाएं और यही कहेंगे पानी का वेस्ट ना करें। होली के लिए आप सभी को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। रंग बरसे भीगे चुनर वाली रंग बरसे। हमारे परिवार की तरफ से आप सभी को होली की शुभकामनाएं और यही कहेंगे पानी का वेस्ट ना करें। होली के लिए आप सभी को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। रंग बरसे भीगे चुनर वाली रंग बरसे।
The United States has decided to restore intelligence sharing with Ukraine and lift its temporary hold on military aid, signaling renewed support for Kiev in its conflict with Russia. The decision follows Ukraine's agreement to a proposal put forth by the Trump administration, though the specific terms of agreement remain unclear. While Kiev has shown willingness to engage in negotiations, the success of the initiative now depends on Moscow's response. Both sides have expressed an interest in securing long-term stability, but uncertainties remain over whether the latest diplomatic efforts will bring a latest resolution to the ongoing war.
His goal in this entire process has been to bring about an end to this war. It's a terrible war, a costly war, a bloody war, and his number one interest is ending this war once and for all. Today we made an offer that the Ukrainians have accepted, which is to enter into a ceasefire and into immediate negotiations to end this conflict in a way that's enduring and sustainable and accounts for their interests, their security, their ability to prosper as a nation. I want to personally thank, we both want to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Majesty, for hosting us, for making this possible. They've been instrumental in this process, and we're very grateful to them for hosting us here today. And hopefully we'll take this offer now to the Russians, and we hope that they'll say yes, to peace. The ball is now in their court. And but again, the president's objective here is number one, above everything else. He wants the war to end, and I think today Ukraine has taken a concrete step in that regard. We hope the Russians will reciprocate.
Well, just to add to the Secretary's comments, the Ukrainian delegation today made something very clear, that they share President Trump's vision for peace. They share his determination to end the fighting, to end the killing, to end the tragic kind of meat grinder of people and national treasure that's happening on the front in Ukraine. Number one. Number two, they made concrete steps and concrete proposals, not only accepting our proposal for a full ceasefire, which you can see the details of which are in our joint statement that we released together, but we also got into substantive details on how this war is going to permanently end, what type of guarantees they're going to have for their long-term security and prosperity, but also really looking at what it's going to take to finally end this, the horrific fighting. The other piece that I just want to make very clear is President Trump started this diplomatic effort in the Oval Office, talking to both leaders, both President Putin and President Zelensky back to back. And now that shuttle diplomacy continues. We have a named delegation in terms of next steps from the Russian side. We have a named delegation in terms of next steps from the Ukrainian side. I will talk to my Russian counterpart in the coming days. Secretary Rubio will be with G7 foreign ministers in the next couple of days. We have the NATO Secretary General in the White House on Thursday, and we'll take the process forward from there. So, as a result of that, and I think as a result of this positive step forward, the president has decided to lift the pause on aid and on our security assistance to Ukraine.
His goal in this entire process has been to bring about an end to this war. It's a terrible war, a costly war, a bloody war, and his number one interest is ending this war once and for all.
Russia launched a large-scale assault on Ukraine, firing a ballistic missile and deploying 126 drones in coordinated strikes that caused widespread damage. Ukrainian officials reported that the attacks set a fuel depot ablaze and injured at least 2 people in various regions of the country. In the southern port city of Odisha, emergency response teams mobilized over 100 personnel to manage the aftermath of the strikes. The latest wave of aggression has intensified concerns over the escalating hostilities with the Ukrainian forces struggling to fend off their relentless attacks and amid ongoing geopolitical tensions.
Блядь, это у нас упало в городе.
Загонялки с беспилотником, нахуй!
А он уже поднимался вот в заднюю пленку, говорит, мама, у нас там, говорит, полопалось ПВ этого. Вот. Да идите, почем уже идете?
Нет, сгорело все. Ну вот вы.
Блядь, это у нас упало в городе.
Загонялки с беспилотником, нахуй!
And that's the end of the bulletin. Keep watching CVR News English.